Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Brian and Dylan Take On, or is it we're the reviewers now? Welcome back to another episode of this show. The show. I am your co-host Dylan here with my pal, my buddy, my big chief Brian.
Hey Dylan, how's it going?
It's going good. So this podcast doesn't have an identity anymore,
No.
or does it?
Wow.
Truth be told, I don't know currently what the title of this podcast is or what the theme song is when you're listening to this.
Theme song might stay the same, might change, who knows. Right now, I think the title we're going with is Wicked Good Show.
Wicked Good Show.
Yeah.
It's a show, and it's wicked good.
I promise one of these days we will stick with the name, and we will just have the episodes, be normal, and you'll be able to find it, and it'll be awesome. But it's not today.
I like Wicked Good Show. I think it's with our mothership, Wicked Good Everything on YouTube.
Exactly.
I think it lines up with that. And also, when you search the reviewers on iTunes, it just didn't come up. Like our show didn't come
tough.
up.
It was a tough break on that one. Good name, I thought, but I don't know. iTunes is just like, no thanks.
Trial and error. That's what can you do?
That's one of the good things about being like a smaller channel is you can experiment with this kind of stuff.
Correct. Yes. Like we drop episodes on a Tuesday, or maybe we'll drop it on like a Saturday at like midnight. Who knows?
Right.
We're wild cards like that. Yeah, Brian. We're a little bit delayed, but we're finally talking San Diego Comic-Con and Lion King the movie today, which I'm excited to talk about both of those things. One of the others I'm going to yell about.
Yeah, no, it should definitely be good. I gotta say, Dylan, starting the job soon, but for now still unemployed, and it's really taking a toll. Like today, Jenny asked me to go grab bread from the store, and I was like, I have to put jeans on. This is an outrage. So I'm ready to get back to the real world. Ready to get back to work.
Well, today you're not in the real world. We're in podcast land, baby. Let's jump right into San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think that the listeners can wait any longer. All 10 of them.
Right.
What's up? So big Comic-Con for Marvel. It was pretty. This is probably the most a lot of big breaking news happening at Comic-Con that I can remember in a while. Because in the day of the internet and things leaking, you heard about a lot of things that were announced there prior to the actual Comic-Con happening. But with Marvel, they kept a lot of things under wraps, and we finally got to see their like storyboard, if you will, their timeline, which is infamous with Marvel and Disney movies. And man, what can I say? I'm excited for Marvel Phase 4. I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm really excited. If there's one thing Marvel loves, it's timelines. They don't always keep the timelines going. You can ask some shows on ABC. What was that show? Do you remember? I'll look it up. Right. Inhumans.
Yep.
Okay.
Inhumans. There we go. Yeah, of course. Yeah. How could you forget?
Yeah. So Inhumans was announced as a movie, and people were thinking, oh, this will be the answer to the X-Men since they don't own the X-Men. And then they scrapped that and just got the X-Men themselves and made it a TV show and then canceled it.
What happened with Inhumans? They aired like the first 2 episodes at like IMAX or something like that. They aired it at like a movie theater, and it was awful. Like the reception was terrible. It was people voted. I think it had like a 6 on like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. I think it was Rotten Tomatoes had a 6%. So yeah, Marvel. I mean, we didn't really know where they were going with Phase 4. We knew about the Black Widow movie. We knew there was going to be a Guardians 3. Early in the week before Comic-Con came out, we got I guess if you want to call it, the hammer dropped, if you will. The Thor 3 was announced with Taika Waititi coming back, which was awesome. Great news.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine them making another Thor without him directing. Like, he really revitalized that franchise.
He created the identity Thor has right now. He's smart enough to, Chris Hemsworth. He's a funny guy, and he was serious in the other movies. And what's even better than a serious person? A serious guy that's also very funny.
Right. So
they figured it out in Ragnarok, and now we have Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's probably the movie I'm most looking forward to, just because the director combination. We got Tessa Thompson back. We have Natalie Portman, who hated the MCU, wanted nothing to do with it until the Thor movies and the Avengers movies grossed like more money than we've ever seen. So Quite literally, because Endgame is actually now the #1 movie all time worldwide grossing at the box office.
Yeah, I mean, it felt
Yay!
inevitable that this would happen. It was
We
just
did
kind
it.
of like, okay, when will it happen, rather than if it will happen. And yeah, they did it. Good for
We,
them.
we did it, guys. We beat those fucking blue people. We beat James Cameron, and we got Disney the money they very much needed. So
Yeah,
good for us.
except now they own Avatar too. So
We're all winners here.
Disney's the real winner, always.
Some of the other big announcements we got, and like I said, I'm very much looking forward to Love and Thunder. I'm a little surprised that they sort of announced I mean, we've known Guardians 3 was coming out, but there is no timeline for Guardians 3 right now, which I thought was very interesting. Just to kind of quickly go over the timeline of things that were announced. So Black Widow, which is starring obviously Scarlett Johansson, our boy David Harbour.
Gonna be great. Really excited for him to be in the MCU.
It's also featuring Florence Pugh from Midsommar, which that's a movie. So we got Black Widow in May of 2020. That is the movie that's coming out next. In fall of 2020 is our first Disney Plus TV show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I am also very much looking forward.
Yeah, a lot of hype for that.
And also, Kevin Feige kind of made it sound like we don't have a choice. We have to buy Disney Plus now, which I was going to do anyway, because they basically made it seem like they're putting in just as much of budget and just as much of time and effort into these TV shows than they are
and
the
star
movies.
power.
And they're all connected now, which the Netflix shows officially became unconnected, I think, after like the first 2 seasons of all the respective shows, and now we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I'm wicked excited for that. So that's fall 2020. Right after that, we get the Eternals in November of next year, which I don't know too much about the Eternals. I don't know about a lot of some of the things on here, but I'm very much looking forward to them. So we get that in November.
The cast of the Eternals is so good.
Yeah, we got Rob Stark, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Camille Nanjiani, Salma Hayek, Brian Tyree Henry, one of my favorite actors right now from Atlanta.
Right?
Love him. Yep, yeah. Paperboy. Dong Seok Ma. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that.
Yes, we apologize. But he's in Train to Busan, and he's really awesome in that.
So that's probably that's going to be, I think, their first big movie. I think that's going to be, because Black Widow, I'm sure, is going to pull in fans. I don't think it's going to break the box office. I think Eternals is going to be the one that draws a lot of people if the early receptions are good. Yeah. So that rounds out.
Lauren Ridloff, also in this movie. I just want to give her a shout out. She is on The Walking Dead currently. Came on last season. She's one of the best parts of the show right now.
Interesting.
I know not a lot of people are into The Walking Dead anymore, but want to give her credit where it's due.
All right, I was talking Walking Dead for you. Yeah, and then we go jump into 2021, which has 7 Marvel properties coming out that
Jesus
year.
Christ.
We have Shang-Chi coming out in February 12th, 2021, which I'm pretty excited for that because I know nothing about Shang-Chi.
Oh, dude, me either.
It's a hero. It's a hero I've heard about before. I just don't know anything about him, and I'm pretty excited for this. One, because it's different. It's different from what we've had, and 2, the Mandarin is the bad guy in this movie.
Yes, so the real Mandarin.
The real Mandarin, not Trevor.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
Oh man! So we're getting the Mandarin, Shang-Chi, February 12th, 2021. We have WandaVision, the show everyone's looking forward to, coming out in spring 2021 with Scarlet Witch, and I think Vision's in it, and I think that's why it's called WandaVision.
Yeah, I would expect him to show up as well.
Sure. And then we have Loki also coming out spring 2021, which I think that's a show I'm looking forward to, which is Loki jumping through different events in the history of man, which could be pretty interesting. They set that up also in Avengers Endgame when he got the Tesseract and he teleported out of there.
Yeah, I would say if you die in the movies, don't worry, Disney Plus has you.
For sure, yes.
Your own show.
I have a feeling this is probably the last time we see Loki too. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And maybe, maybe that sets up Thor too. Maybe something that sets up Thor because that comes out before Thor. Who knows? After Loki, we have Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, which is also going to feature Scarlet Witch. So that's going to be set up in the WandaVision show.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to this because it's being pitched as like a horror movie. It's like a multiverse horror movie. I'm all in on that. the first Doctor Strange movie wasn't one of my favorites,
Mhm.
but Doctor Strange really grew on me in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this, and it's Marvel, so I'm gonna go see it anyway. I'm gonna go see all these.
Right.
And then next up is actually something I'm super interested in, and it's the What If series.
Mhm.
This is something that we've heard rumbles about way before Comic-Con. It's been about a year since I heard about it,
Mhm.
and it's going to be an animated series with all the voice actors coming back to do their roles.
Right.
Like I think there's a chance that we're going to get like Robert Downey Jr., like Chris Evans and all that voicing their characters.
Oh, 100%.
In this show, and it's a series about what ifs. And Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's basically like, what if this happened? It's like, what if Gwen Stacy got bit by the spider? And
Yeah, Spider-Gwen. In the logo, you can see the Marvel Zombies. So I expect at least one episode of Marvel Zombies, which is a fun, like, alternate universe comic
we talked
series.
about that last week, I think.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a good series, man. I'm really excited for this. And Jeffrey Wright, he's awesome.
Yeah,
Such a good actor. So him playing the Watcher will be really fun.
it's like I said, it's different. Phase 4 is the thing of different stuff, which I'm really excited for. This is, I think once Iron Man and Captain America were out of the picture, I think we didn't really know where we were going from here.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like Spider-Man, which technically ended Phase 3, we just talked about today, made $1 billion. It's the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time, which is awesome because Tom Holland and that whole cast right there deserve that. So Phase 4 it's a lot of heroes we don't know. It's a lot of heroes that aren't relatively the mainstream heroes. So after What If, we have the Hawkeye TV series, and I think these are all miniseries. I don't think you can expect these to be continually running shows.
I know for sure the Falcon and Winter Soldier is a limited series, like 8 episodes.
Correct, and I think Kevin Feige mentioned that they're pouring a lot of money into that one, which I'm actually very excited for.
Yeah, it should be great.
Because Daniel Brühl is also back as the villain Zemo, which is pretty interesting to me too. And Emily Van Camp's back as Sharon Carter, the niece to Captain America that he made out with.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Oof. Just gonna skip over that.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Hawkeye is fall of 2021. That is going to be. I think Jeremy Renner's back for that one.
He is. Yep.
He is going to be handing over the mantle to Kate Bishop for Hawkeye. That's that whole series is going to be about. So I can assume we're going to see her take over the Hawkeye mantle for maybe some movies, because I don't know. I don't know if this is 100% confirmed, but I do think they're going to eventually do another Avengers movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So we had this whole announcement, but we didn't have and by the way, in like 2023, Avengers 5.
Yeah, which, because like they're setting up the Avengers is obviously still a thing, because it's mentioned in Spider-Man, and people could question like who's the leader of the Avengers. The logical choice, I guess, would be Thor, but he's always off planet, quote unquote. So I don't know how that will work, and I guess we'll see what happens in Thor. And Thor, Love and Thunder is the last movie on this timeline, officially confirmed at least. It comes out November 5th of 2021. That is the movie I'm most looking forward to, and of course is at the end of this list. I'm looking forward to everything, honestly. I'm actually really looking forward to Black Widow, because it's going to be in there. She's fighting Taskmaster in the movie. He's the main villain, which I think is really fucking interesting. I haven't really had a whole lot of exposure to him other than the Spider-Man PS4 video game.
Right.
And his like side missions and stuff are great. So he basically is like, he always wears a mask, and he has basically like a smaller version of Captain America's shield.
Right.
Which is cool. So this I'm very excited. This was really surprising. And the one big thing, well, there's several things another big thing that was confirmed that was out of fucking nowhere. Like out of nowhere. And when I heard it, I was like, this makes so much goddamn sense. Like I think we all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So, Blade. Yes. I now know who Mahershala Ali. Blade.
Yeah, man, it's super interesting. We're gonna have the introduction of Blade, which means the introduction of vampires in the MCU, which we'll see how that works. I'm guessing they'll just be kind of underground, not really like a threat outside of the Blade movies. But yeah, man, I'm kind of like shocked because one, Mahershala Ali in Luke Cage plays Cottonmouth, but they clearly don't give a shit about the Netflix movie or shows anymore. Nope. So that doesn't matter. He was really good as that. But it's also like he's really built a strong resume the last few years. He's won 2 Academy Awards in what, the last like 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And to have an actor who is so acclaimed to be like, yeah, I want to play a comic villain, it really legitimizes it. Not that comic movies aren't legitimized already, but it really like sets a precedent. Like, yeah, big Academy Award winners are going to be seeking out these kind of roles now.
Yeah, I agree, and he's actually like probably, if he's not my favorite actor in Hollywood right now, he's definitely top three. Everything
so
he's
good.
in,
He's so
just
good.
he's amazing in. And one of the things I found really cool about this is that he actively campaigned to get the Blade role, which I
Yeah,
think is awesome.
I think it's
And
really fun. Like, he was like, all right, I've won a bunch of awards, now I want to play Blade.
yeah, like you put me as like this B character in a Marvel TV show that doesn't even exist anymore. Like, once you
Right.
put me in the big game, and Blade's gonna fucking crush. I think when that Blade movie comes out, and I don't know, that's at least 2022. Same thing with X-Men and Fantastic Four, which were also announced.
Yeah, that was exciting too. Obviously, no like real confirmation, but at least like we're talking about them. It's
Yep,
happening.
the mutants and the Fantastic Four are officially in this universe, which I think is great. Another thing that actually kind of surprised me too is no Deadpool. No Deadpool on this
Yeah,
list.
so my 3 surprises were no Deadpool, no Spider Man announcement, and no Captain Marvel announcement.
Mm.
I thought that was a sure thing, like they were going to make another one
Well,
as soon as possible, you know?
well, I mean, they announced that they're making a Captain Marvel 2.
Hmm.
They did announce that. It's the same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We just have no idea when that's going to
Right,
be.
right.
And Guardians is probably the most surprising to me. And we talked about it. I feel I said that they had to do a Guardians as Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor.
Right.
And I'm surprised that that's
Not the
not one of
title.
the first movies they're tackling, because we've been hearing about Guardians 3 for like, I feel like a year or 2 years with the whole thing with James Gunn. And like, so that movie's been in pre-production for like ever. So,
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard like they were going to go into production without him, and then they were like, okay, we can't do this, so they canceled it, and then it kind of just got shelved for a while.
well, the problem is that he's still doing Suicide Squad,
Right.
and that is I think Suicide Squad is set to come out next year. So
It should be cool.
the emancipation of one Harley Quinn, or whatever that might be Birds of Prey. I have no fucking idea. Who cares about DC anymore?
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if none of the original Suicide Squad were in
I
James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
I think Harley Quinn is like the only one
Yeah.
that's coming back. And I think everybody else got recast, or they're just putting in new bad guys. But anyways, yeah. So he's doing Suicide Squad first, which sucks, because that's just a universe I do not give a shit about anymore at all.
I didn't hate the first Suicide Squad. It was a fun popcorn flick, like matinee type movie, you know?
I think in the world we're in now of universe building, it's tough to like just care about that story anymore. It's the same thing. Like, I can't really ever go back and watch Batman vs Superman or Justice League again, because like it just doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, those movies like just don't matter to anything in the future. So, and like they're not that good. So like I just have no reason to go back and watch them, which is how I feel kind of about Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad, man, you want to talk about movies that really sell you with the trailer? Suicide Squad might have fucking duped everyone, because Suicide Squad, I would argue, had the best trailer ever. With Bohemian Rhapsody and all that. They really sold that movie. I was like, holy shit, this movie's gonna be awesome. And sure
Yeah.
enough, it wasn't.
That whole trailer was so good that they actually like hired the company to re-edit the movie. It still
It
couldn't
was
save it, but
that I get chills thinking about that trailer, because it was so fucking good.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, Phase 4 is gonna be very interesting, and you know, to me it's a high risk, high reward for Marvel right now, because if a lot of these stink, and I think the movie I'm most worried about stinking is Eternals. Honestly, if a lot of these stink, like, I do think that it's the potential, and I also think that maybe this is why they put Thor at the end of this list. That maybe there's a potential where like the buzz for Marvel is going to drop off, because it's been at an all-time high the past 2 years, and I can't really get higher than that. I think their goal right now is to maintain the same level of where they've been at, which is basically impossible. But I think their absolute worst case scenario is if these stink. And I think we'll get a first glance with Black Widow, which I have pretty high hopes for. I have high hopes for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but Eternals, I think, could potentially be the one that maybe puts us on a downward trajectory. Maybe that's why they have Thor pushed out so long, because it's like almost all but a guarantee that Thor's gonna be fucking awesome. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think if there was a time where they can experiment with weird properties, it's now. They have so much goodwill that it's like, okay, show me what you got, Marvel. Like I'm along for the ride now.
Yeah, like 100%. Like we're gonna tune into all these. The pod will still be around and better than ever for this.
Yes, and maybe with a permanent name.
So there was a couple other things that have dropped between when we last talked and now. Obviously, Comic-Con was a big one. The Witcher trailer came out in Comic-Con, which, man, if I wasn't at my all-time excitement for this show, I sure as fuck am now. This Henry Cavill, everyone in this show looks fucking awesome. This is the show, man. This is gonna be. I'm calling it. This is gonna be the show when it drops. I'm hoping it comes out this year too, because it looks like that they've gotten pretty far with production, if they're not done already.
Right. Yeah, man. I think if there ever was a show that could just continue where Game of Thrones left off in terms of cultural impact and fantasy, it's this show.
Yep.
It has a huge fan base. One with the games, obviously. Even though these aren't an adaptation of the games, it's still very similar to the games.
Yep.
And then a lot of people who were fans of the books, and then a lot of people who are more open to fantasy TV shows because of Game of Thrones. This is like the perfect time for this show to come out.
For people who don't know what The Witcher is or who Geralt of Rivia is, he's basically like a Batman in like this fantasy world. Is like the best way I can describe it. He's part of like this Witcher order. He knows some magic. He knows to cast potions. He basically fights like these demons, these occult creatures, these fantasy mystical creatures. It's fucking awesome. The game is awesome. But yeah, I've never read the books, and I think we've talked about this before. It's basically like Poland's like Game of Thrones.
Right.
This is I do think that this is going to be the next Game of Thrones type level. Maybe not in the first season, but especially because it's a worldwide phenomenon, mainly in Europe also. I think this is really going to be the thing that apparently saves Netflix, because Netflix is losing like billions.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised about that, because I guess people probably just tune in for like Stranger Things and then cancel the subscription, right?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing with Marvel and Disney Plus and them announcing all this doesn't really help Netflix either, because there's a lot of original content going in that way, like the Mandalorian, which is another thing. Surprised we didn't get a little bit more, but I guess that's Star Wars, so that's
right.
Star
Don't
Wars.
You have like their own convention, Star Wars?
I think that they were at Comic-Con. I just don't think they had like any big shows or anything like that.
Right.
Like I think that there was like new toys at Comic-Con. There was stuff like that, but they had Star Wars Celebration, which was back in.
That's what it is. Yes.
May, maybe I want to say.
Yeah, that's when we got the new trailer for the new movie, and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this could be the show. I'm not gonna say it saves Netflix, because everybody has a Netflix account still, so I don't think they're gonna be out in the streets begging for change next week. But this show, man, I'm really looking forward to this, and I think that even people that know nothing about the game and the books are gonna be interested in this. One, because that's Henry Cavill, who is a hunk of a man for the ladies and the men, and I think he's an overall great actor. So this is gonna be great. 2 thumbs up, man. I'm this all-time high for this for me right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, Henry Cavill somehow looking more jacked in this movie. Like, I don't understand.
Not even that. He's just like ripped. Because like Superman, he had to get jacked. This one, Geralt is ripped and jacked. So it's like he's gripped. He's jacked. So hell yeah, dude. I'm hoping for a full nudity scene for him.
Hey man, might get your wish. I don't know. I feel like he's from England, right? Or from
Yes.
Yeah, they don't care about that stuff over there.
Sure don't.
So
not if he's hung like a horse too.
True. So there could be that. All right, Zombieland.
Zombieland double tap, baby.
It dropped today. When we're recording this.
Yeah, so I'm on a little bit of a high with Woody Harrelson right now, because I'm rewatching True Detective season 1, and he's so good in that. He's near perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect of a show you can get, is that first season of True Detective.
For sure. And I've been listening to a lot of stuff with Jesse Eisenberg, because he's promoting a movie of his coming out right now. And it's crazy. Also, Emma Stone can't get lost in all this also, because I feel like when Zombieland first came out, she obviously wasn't the mega star she was now. But Emma Stone's probably the biggest attraction for anybody for this movie. She's an A-list celebrity right now. Academy Award winner.
It's so funny when they shot the movie years ago. Who knew that all four of these actors would be Academy Award nominees and then she'd be a winner?
That's nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point. Because Abigail Breslin for Little Miss Sunshine too.
Mhm.
Great point.
So good.
Yeah, this is. I'm really excited for this because this is. I guess you could quote unquote call it original, and though I think it was a comic book, and then it was obviously the first movie, so it's a sequel. But this is great. I mean, it's one of the things that the zombie genre got right. So
Mm.
it looks awesome. The whole
Adding
plot,
a lot of good actors to it as well.
correct. Yeah, that's the other big thing is we're getting a lot of different people in the mix
Mhm.
because it was basically just them and Bill Murray in the first one.
Right.
The premise of this one is Columbus, Tallahassee, Wichita, and Little Rock move to the American heartland as they face off against evolved zombies, fellow survivors, and the pains of the snarky makeshift family. Yeah, man. Once again, two thumbs up. This is comes out this October, so when we do our fall preview, this is going to be up there. I'm assuming this is going to be see it for both of us.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a, I would imagine a whole topic of an episode. I'm ready for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is a movie I'm very much looking forward to. It's probably not going to be nominated for an Academy Award this year, but it's a movie I'm going to be seeing opening night.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah, Zombieland double tap, two thumbs up. I can't wait for this.
Me either.
It's some more slop for me to hog on, man.
All right, so we both saw a movie this week.
Yep.
And that is what
I also
the main what's that?
I also saw this movie like 20 years ago when I was a kid too.
Oh yeah, there's that too. So Dylan, what movie are we talking about today?
We are talking about The Lion King by Disney.
Yeah, we are.
Second one.
The remake,
It's
quote
the
unquote live action.
It's the upgraded version of the first one. It's the
Yeah, it's
technologically upgraded version of the first one.
It's like, have you ever seen videos where people will have like the newest graphic card with like shaders on?
Yep.
And it'll be like Minecraft and then Minecraft with shaders, and
Yep.
it looks like real life.
Yep.
That's pretty much what they did with this.
Yes. 2019's
Right.
2019's The Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau, starring, if you want to say he's starring in this, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover as Simba, although I think he has a total of like 10 lines in this movie. Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, who he was fucking awesome. He was a great voice of Scar. I thought he was one of the highlights of this movie. John Oliver as Zazu. James Earl Jones as Mufasa again, which I think like new recorded lines. I think last time we talked about a lot, I thought a lot of these would be pre-recorded. They weren't. I think this was him doing new lines, which was interesting. John Connie as Rafiki, Alfre Woodard as Sarabi, J.D. McCreary as young Simba. I'm just going on the whole fucking cast right now. I'm gonna fuck this name up. Shahadi Wright Joseph, who was in Us this year, which was one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Keegan-Michael Key as Kamari, the hyena. Eric Andre, my boy, as Azizi the hyena. Lawrence Kasumbe, who I think was in Black Panther. It plays Shenzi. And then the two people who stole the show, Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner as Pumbaa and Timon.
Yep.
Just great. Can't forget Beyonce and the Beehive. Don't know why she's not like up on this list.
Yeah, right.
As Nala. Yeah, man. I'm gonna let you go for. Let this brew my tummy for a second. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it was it was enjoyable. It was the same movie exactly, and I think the biggest thing that separates like for me and my enjoyment between the animated Aladdin, the new Aladdin, the animated Beauty and the Beast, the new Beauty and the Beast, the animated Lion King, this is because it's not like real people. It just feels like this is exactly the same. Not that those other movies weren't exactly the same, but it was at least like, real life, real people doing stuff, acting, facial expressions. They decided to make the animals less expressive than the Jungle Book. And I think that was a huge mistake because it does kind of like feel weird when they're delivering their lines and they're also like pretty blank face. I thought the movie overall was good. I'm glad I saw it, and apparently tons of people saw it. So, Dylan, what did you think?
First off, score it, you coward.
Oh, okay. If I had to score it, I would say this gets a 6.5 out of 10.
All right. All right, we're not sticking to the 100 scored theater, but so when I almost walked out of the theater in the first 10 minutes because I was like, God damn, they really are just going shot for shot remake, which
Right.
genuinely surprised because I told you I said it was 30 minutes longer, and there were like one or two new scenes in this. There was one new song, which I think is the whole thing is just Oscar bait for the song.
Right.
With Beyonce when they're and this, oh, by the way, this is all spoilers. You've seen The Lion King, so when they were charging back to Pride Rock, I think that's a new song, Beyonce. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just misremembering, but so I told myself when I left the theater that I'm taking 20 points off whatever my score is because
oh my God. Okay.
this is not an original story by any means. This, like I said, this is a technologically upgraded version of the 90s movie.
Right.
So if I'm grading this on a movie as a whole, I would say probably the animated movie is like a 95. It's awesome. It's one of the best Disney movies they've ever put out. So I'm probably giving this, and I'll go into it after. I guess if I'm rating this just on a movie by itself, not even thinking about the other Lion King, I'm probably giving it like an 83, 85, that range. But if I'm going by the 20 points taken off, that's going to bring it back down to like a 63, 65.
Okay, yeah. So we're in the same ballpark.
I did not think that the voice sync with these, and it could have been the theater I was in. It could have just been me being half deaf in one ear, and
right.
There was a lot of kids in the theater. I didn't think the voice syncs linked up with the characters well at all. And one of the things that pained me the most, I did not think Donald Glover was good as Simba at all either. Which
right.
Donald Glover is one of my favorite actors. Speaking of Mahershala Ali, Donald Glover is probably in that top 3 also. He's by far my top 3 entertainer between TV, movies, and music. And I didn't think maybe it was maybe I'm just like nitpicking, and maybe it was the lack of lines or what I thought was the lack of lines. I didn't think that his whole thing I didn't think he was a good Simba. Right. I don't know what it was, and I can't explain it to you. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I didn't think that the voices were lining up with the animals' mouths moving at all. And obviously, lions and other animals can't talk, so that's problem A. But with that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it looked beautiful. Everything looked beautiful. It looked as real as it possibly could be without being fucking real.
Right.
I wasn't down with him as Simba, and I don't know what it was. I was just like, he didn't seem like he wanted to be there. I guess I almost mean. And when he started singing Hakuna Matata once they did the progression when he got older, I was like, he sounds like shit. Like this is like, and he's one of the best
artists going right
artists
now.
going. I think he has a great voice. I think he's super talented. I was like, this doesn't sound right to me at all. Shout out Brian Wong brought up to me. He's like, who knew that Billy Eichner could sing? And I'm like, yeah, Billy Eichner actually sounded great.
He did.
John Oliver singing was laugh a lot funny because it was basically just him talking.
Yeah, same with Seth Rogen.
I thought Chiwetel Ejiofor, who, I think I'm still botching that name, other than Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, was the best part of this movie. I think him and Scar hit the little watered down version of Be Prepared. I thought was great. Because a lot of people say that's their favorite song. I don't really think that's a great song, and part of it could be Jeremy Irons.
For me, I was just like, when people were like mad about it being cut, I was like, really? Who cares?
Another podcast I was listening to today that was voted on as like the number 2 like best Disney song. I'm like, that's a fucking stretch.
What? Okay. I guess I'm just not with it, Dylan. I don't know.
So, I don't. Like I almost this movie was almost a DNF, did not finish, because like I said, in the first 10 minutes when there was like a lot of kids around me, like there was one fucking baby crying, and I was like, this is a shot for shot remake, and this is a movie I watched last week with my kid. This is a movie I've seen 50 times in the past year. I'm like, do I really want to spend the next 2 hours of my life sitting in this fucking theater watching this movie?
Right.
And I think this is a great movie if you haven't seen it at home. I will probably never watch. Well, that's a lie. I'm going to actually be forced to watch this movie. I will never willingly watch this movie ever again.
Right.
Because I've seen the original. The original, in my opinion, is just it's the classic. So it's the one I'm going to go to. I do think that Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa were better in this movie. Like I said, I think Chiwetel Ejiofor was a better Scar. That's going to be a hot take, but I just thought that his voice was better as Scar, and I thought he was more. I don't know. I'm now saying that out loud compared to Jeremy Irons. I would put him as a tie, I guess, but
they both have very powerful Shakespearean voices that lend a lot to the role.
Yeah. Well said. I thought the hyenas were a lot funnier in this, but I don't know, man. I guess I really don't know what I expected. Like,
right.
I guess subconsciously I expected it for it to be different. and that's bringing my disappointment. It's not a bad movie, and it's
Mhm.
I'm comparing to the original, and like I said, for some reason I expected something different and something more, and I
Mhm.
guess I just didn't get it. This could be a movie too now that I've seen it and I know what it is.
Right.
Seeing it again, even though I don't want to, it'd probably be a better experience. Because
Mhm.
the first time I saw it too, I was watching it with like a critical eye. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit on a 63. This is the lowest movie for me that we reviewed this year.
Yeah, I think part of the issue with Donald Glover is a lot of his charm and charisma comes through his like physical performance in movies and TV shows,
Good point. Yep.
and that just doesn't come through, especially when the lion looked like a real lion and was not incredibly expressive
Mhm.
in any way. So I think that hurt it a lot. I think, yeah, I mean, I think if you have kids and they want to see it, you'll enjoy it. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad experience. But like you said, I'm not running out to go see it again. I'm really glad that I did see it for once.
The thing that
It's just average.
the thing that frustrates me the most is that this is the ultimate money grab.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, and it worked because currently, according to Box Office Mojo, it's made $713 million worldwide.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna cross $1 billion this weekend.
So ridiculous
I'm
still, and there's so much money. Disney is making so much money.
Yeah. This is a cash grab. I haven't seen Aladdin yet, so I can't really judge that. You said you liked it, and I don't know if it
Yeah,
was more
but
like
because
this.
it felt different with the actors.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and I hate that whole like, why did this get made? Who asked for this? I think a lot of people were asking for this, honestly.
Yeah.
Once they knew about it, at least.
Mm.
I don't know. I wish it didn't happen, but it did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go cry about it. It's like I said, it looked great. It right now deserves the Oscar for special effects and all that because it was just unbelievable the shit they were able to do. Like I said, my only gripe, technology wise, I didn't think the voices synced up well, but that's also because lions and giant warthogs and shit don't talk, so that was part of it. But yeah, it's. I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. And I think a lot of people love this going to see it.
Yeah.
And I think the people that are giving it poor reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, were doing because they were watching it with a critical eye. And I think that was probably part of the issue I had when I first watched it out. And I knew we were going to record this podcast, and I was watching it, saying like, all right, like this doesn't make sense to me. Like this is the same fucking movie. Blah blah blah. The story did not change. I think maybe that's one thing I was thinking about is maybe they do Mufasa's death differently. Maybe they make Simba realize or make Simba reconnect with his, I don't even call it like his tribe. I don't even know what you would call them.
Pack.
His pack. Yep.
Or his pride.
Way.
That's the name, right?
His pride. The pride. That's what it is. A different way. Like I said, Timon and Pumbaa, once they came on screen, it definitely lightened the movie up a lot more for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I much prefer them as Timon and Pumbaa than the previous two. I'm forgetting their names. It's Nathan Lane, I think, was Timon. I forget who was Pumbaa, but
doesn't matter.
they were great. I thought Billy Eichner was great. I'm at the end of Parks and Rec.
Yes,
he's in there, and
he's so
does
funny. Oh my god,
he does his yelling and all that, and so it's so funny because I went and saw Lion King, then I went and watched 2 Parks and Rec's episode after, and there were episodes that were heavy on Billy Eichner, and I'm like, it's so funny that that's who he is.
Yeah,
the way he access to him. So yeah, man, 63. Sorry, I'm gonna let you talk now because I've rambled on, but yeah.
No, I think you said pretty much everything I would say. I do want to touch on, in terms of movies nobody asked for, unless you want to add anything more about The Lion King.
No, that's it for me. I mean, everybody knows what this movie is now, so.
For real, who the hell asked for this version of Cats?
I just slammed my drink down.
Yeah.
I forgot all about fucking cats, man. Thanks for bringing that up. Speaking of cats, we're moving on to a different type of cat. We're talking that Cats trailer,
Holy
baby.
shit. That was
My
horrifying.
Word. What the fuck is... So I've never seen the Cats trailer, like, show.
Yeah, nor have I.
Man, this trailer. Talk about furries. Talk about people going out to the movie theater. The furries are going to be flocking out to this thing. This might be other than Endgame and Lion King, this must be the highest grossing movie of the year. Because you're gonna get the people that love Broadway and Cats. Although I've been told that there's just no story to Cats.
That's what I heard too. So I'm surprised they're making a movie.
I heard like the whole like spectacle of cats is the song and like the props of the set and all these people dressed up as cats.
Right.
You're gonna get like furries going to this. You're gonna get the Taylor Swift crowd going to this.
Oh, right.
I guess if James Corden has a crowd, you're gonna get the James Corden people going to this.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the Jennifer Hudson people going to this. You're gonna get the people that just love Broadway, like I said, people that love musicals. Like I'm gonna go see this one because I'm gonna take like an edible and go see this and like just trip out or freak out because it does look horrifying.
Sprint from the auditorium.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
The technology that they're using is it's basically like the Lion King technology, except they're putting human faces on the cats.
Yeah, and making them like human bodies. Oh.
I don't know the same thing. I don't know what I expected for cats, but it wasn't that. I
just never expected them to make this movie. Why?
I'm very much looking forward to seeing that because I think it's going to be a fucking absurd movie.
Yeah.
It is going to be absurd. I can't wait.
It's gonna be something. That's for sure. I don't know if I want to see this movie. As it gets closer, we'll decide if we want to cover it.
Is it an IMAX? I'm going.
Oh, god damn it!
If it's an IMAX, I'm definitely going to see it in IMAX.
Oh man, so I think the internet had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, it's interesting. James Corden as Buster Jones. Man, what a casting! That's the fat like bumbly cat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, Hollywood is aggressively trying to make James Corden happen. So.
Sure is. I'm here for it.
Is there anything else you want to cover before we sign off on this episode?
No. So thanks for sticking around. Shout out Brian Wong. I know he's still listening. He's one of our listeners, man. He's great.
Thank you, Brian.
Shout out Brian Wong. I appreciate all the input you give to us. Scott Bowden still not listening to the last episode. I can tell. So we are no longer shouting him out.
It's pretty awkward. It's not great.
So keep checking out the YouTube page, man. We can get everything on YouTube. We're on the up and up. Brian's got some things in his sleeve he's been working on during unemployment, so I'm looking forward to that. We're hoping to maybe start Skype video recording this chat.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
I have to clean myself up and my room up, so I got to do that first. Other than that, nope. DJ Clubber Lang with 2 B's at Twitter. That's all I got. That's all I got for me.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you're listening in iTunes, make sure you leave us a nice review or a mean review with 5 stars. It's fine if you're mean, as long as you give us 5 stars.
Also, do me a favor, because all the other popular podcasts say this: subscribe and unsubscribe, because I also just want to make sure that like Wicked Good Show, it gets some sort of recognition on iTunes when we search it. So,
and then if you're listening on iTunes, go to our YouTube channel. Check us out. We're youtube.com/WickedGoodEverything. We're on Twitter at WGEverything, on Instagram at WickedGoodEverything, and of course on Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGoodEverything. And you can find me on Twitter at TheFakeBMarr. That's BMARR.
Next week, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. Oh my God, dude.
Seeing it tonight.
So hyped.
That's why we had to move around our recording schedule. I'm seeing it tonight. I'm seeing it at a theater that doesn't have reclining or leather seats. So kill me. Or doesn't have reserved.
It will feel like the 60s Hollywood, right?
Doesn't have reserved seats either. So shoot me. I gotta get there like 40 minutes before just to get us all. So
no, that's fair.
Shout out to all the movie theaters around me not having like realistic times other than this movie. So awesome.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening, Dylan. Good luck with that.
Peace.